Hey guys, it's Dave, and I just got a question from somebody about good carbs and bad carbs. And so rather than answer that via email, I thought I'd just shoot a quick video and talk about this. So the question is, how do I know which carbs are good and which carbs are bad? And the answer is, it depends on when you're taking them in. Okay, so let's just talk about carbs generally a little bit, and then how to time them. So there's kind of, the best way I like to distinguish carbs is glycemic index. Okay, high glycemic index carbs versus low glycemic index carbs. So high glycemic index carbs, what they do is they cause your blood sugar to go up very, very rapidly. And when that happens, your body creates a hormone called insulin. Insulin helps convert those sugars, glucose, into glycogen. And what it really wants to do with that glycogen is put it in your muscles and your liver. Okay? Problem is, if you haven't been exercising recently, you haven't expended the glycogen from your muscles and your liver, so it's full. It's kind of like a bucket. There's no place else for it to go except your fat cells. So what happens when people take in high glycemic index carbs, things like juice, sugar, soda, those types of things that are really high on the glycemic index, unless they've been exercising really, really hard, those carbs are going to get stored as fat, okay? So then you distinguish low glycemic index carbs. These are things like vegetables, okay? So vegetables have a lot of fiber, and those sugars are going to be much slower absorbed. Now they have maybe the same amount of carbs, but it's the rate at which they're absorbed that I kind of want you to focus on, okay? So just to give you kind of the spectrum, right? Really high glycemic index carbs, orange juice. Orange juice is a super high glycemic index carb because it's basically the fruit without the fiber, okay? So then look at an orange. Now an orange is lower on the glycemic index because it has fiber, and that fiber slows down the absorption of those sugars. But it's still higher on the glycemic index than something like a vegetable, okay? And so then, you've also got carbs in the form of grain-based foods like breads, pasta, rice, that sort of thing. A lot of people avoid those because they're just kind of empty carbs. So are those bad carbs? In my book, yes, I don't eat that stuff because I would much rather eat a vegetable to get my carbohydrate content, because vegetables have a bunch of vitamins and minerals and other sort of good stuff in them, whereas bread has stuff like gluten in it that just really isn't that good for you. So, and it can be high on the glycemic index. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. So let's talk about timing. So is juice always bad? No, it's not. Because what I know, I'm a cyclist, triathlete, and probably the hardest thing I do is I'm training for the bike leg of half Ironman right now, and it's a flat, fast course. So I do interval rides, and they are hell, and they kill me. My body is burning when I get back from those things. I'm also doing Les Mills pump right now, and if you've done that workout, it's really about completely exhausting your body. Today I'm sort of in the middle of a P90X workout actually, but that's just kind of thrown in there. So I'm expending the glycogen out of my body. You can feel it. When you have muscle soreness, it's basically lactic acid taking the place of glycogen. It's a really good sign your glycogen is depleted, right? So I'm going to get some high index carbs, glycemic index carbs, after that workout. Now, if I'm just going for a walk, or maybe I'm surfing on my stand-up board, that's not a super high-intensity workout. It may be good exercise, but it's not a super high-intensity workout where I'm going to really drill the glycogen out of my muscles, and I need to get it back in so that I can start that recovery process and come back and fight hard the next day. So that's kind of the way I look at carbs as far as good or bad. It's really about the timing of the carbs. When are you taking these things in? Because that big glass of orange juice, or a P90X recovery formula, or the new fuel shot that Beachbody just put out, that type of stuff, if you're sitting on the couch or you haven't exercised, within about 45 minutes before taking something like that, that stuff's not good for you. It's a bunch of sugar that's going to end up getting stored as fat. But if you've just finished a really, really intense workout, then those, in my book, are not bad carbs, because what they're doing is they're going to help you recover. So hopefully that answers your question, Joseph, and get back to me if it doesn't, and we'll be in touch. Thanks, man. Bye.